Today we're going to be talking about procrastination. Yes, procrastination. I mean, someone has, a lot of you have said that in the comment section when I will talk about procrastination. And the reason this video took this time before it's virtually coming out is because I also struggled with that. I don't know if there's anybody on earth that doesn't go through procrastination, but I know some people know how to manage it. Some people know how to handle it, right? So, um, first of all, what is procrastination? So, just in a minimal definition, procrastination can be defined as the act of delaying or postponing your tasks, your assignments. You keep delaying them from, getting works done, right? You always have a reason to say, oh, I'll do it tomorrow. Oh, I'll do it next tomorrow. Oh, I'll do it after I'm done, when I'm done eating. So, for me, procrastination is it really dealt with me, but now it's not like I'm overly out of it, but I would say that I have a better way to handle it right now, which I'll also share. So last semester I joined graduate school, so the work was just much. It's not something that I couldn't do, but I think it's because of the fact that it's just a new system for me. So I found myself always procrastinating. Reason being, because of fear, fear, you always feel like, oh, there's no, this is not the best time. I need to gather myself very well to start this work. But the truth is, there is no better time to start working or to start writing or to start working on that goal, right? It's always very important to know to set your time. Time management is very important. And when you don't know how to handle your time, or when time management becomes an issue, you see yourself, or we find ourselves procrastinating, and which is a very harmful, which can be very harmful in our life, be it in work, be it in personal achievement or personal career goals, right? So one of the reasons of procrastination, one of the things that causes procrastination is fear, anxiety. Perfectionism also causes procrastination, because you're always waiting for the right time, or you're always waiting to make it perfect. You always want to figure it all in your head before you eventually start. I remember before I eventually got off perfectionism, it's not like I'm okay. It's not like I am no longer a perfectionist. I am not a perfectionist, or rather, I would say I know how to manage perfectionism. Good. But prior to knowing how to manage perfectionism, I would always want to figure things out in my head. For instance, I want to write a paragraph. I want to figure it out in my head. Okay, I'll start with this word. In my mind, I'm already reading the sentences, how it's going to be before I eventually write it. And sometimes you see weeks will come and go, you've not even written anything. So procrastination is a disease. Yeah, that's the word. It is a disease. It can ruin you. It can ruin everything for you, because what it does is it will inflict fears in you. Because, for instance, you have a 2 months deadline, and you know that this deadline is in the next 2 months. For example, in schools, or especially in graduate school, from the beginning of the semester, you already know what your final project would be like. Maybe you don't know the topic yet, but you know what the professor wants as a final project, right? It can be a research paper, it can be a historiography, it can be annotated bibliography, or a film project, which I just completed one. Hello, yes, I'm a filmmaker. Yeah, I'm so proud of myself and the people who have supported me so far. I thank them. So, what am I saying? You know that from the very beginning, you already know that this is what the professor wants. And in the States, each semester lasts for roughly 4 months. And in the very beginning, you know that, oh, okay, let's say a semester, like the spring semester started in January, and you know that you're submitting your final project in May. So you have February, March, April, May, 4 months to get your final project ready, to figure it out. So, but the normal procrastinating, whatever, would keep telling you that, oh, you still have time. After all, it's in the next 4 months. Why should you stress yourself? Watch movies, go out, sleep, have fun. As good as those things are, it's also good to also remember that the way time flies, can you imagine that we're already in May? January was like yesterday, and now we're in May. by next month, the month would be half gone already. So you will see that procrastination, the way it comes, you will see every reasons to push. You will see every reason to, when I mean push, I mean to push work aside. You will see every reason to keep not to do that stuff because you believe that there is time. Some of us, deadline motivates us. By that I mean when it's remaining 2 days or 3 days, that's when you will know. That's when we know that we'll start working. Before I continue, please, this is Real Talk with Sochi, and please subscribe, share this video. Please leave your comment on procrastination, and I would like to know what you think. So, procrastination is a very detrimental. Would I call it threats? I don't know if it's a threat. Maybe it's a psychological threat, but it's something that can be handled. And how can we handle procrastination? Setting goals, I will always say, is very important. Setting goals, not just goals, feasible goals, achievable goals, goals that you know you can achieve. Not something that when you remember, your heart will just jerk out of your mind because just the mere thought of it gets you agitated, right? So when you're setting your goals, you set goals that you know you can achieve, not goals that you can just like achieve anyhow, but you know that a goal that when you put in the work, you would be able to achieve it. So when you set that goal, it's not enough. Roadmap is important. I keep mentioning the importance of roadmap. How do you want to achieve it? Okay, I know that at the end of this semester, I'm going to submit 30 pages research paper. Now, guys, let me tell you something. So I took this course. It's a seminar course, a research course. So we are supposed to, at the end of at the end of this course, at the end of the semester, we have to submit between 25 to 30 pages length research paper. Hmm. So before the semester started, when the professor wrote to us via email, we were still in winter break. I think that was early January, and he was like, "Oh, hello, guys. This is what the semester is going to be like." And in my mind, I was already thinking, "How do I write 30 pages? Like, this is a lot. How am I going to convince myself? Because I know that when I come back, I will see that 4 months is far, and I will have any reason not to be doing that work until maybe a month to deadline. That's when I will now start running helter skelter, which is not good for my mental health. Yes, eventually I will get the work done, but by that time it must have done some damages to my health, my mental health. So when the professor wrote to us, he told us that we're going to be writing 30 pages. And in my mind, I'm like, okay, how am I going to achieve this? So, but when we eventually come back to school, he sent us a syllable, like the course outline. So what is interesting is that he structured the course in such a way that he studied the course in a way that we would write that 30 pages and even want to write more without even knowing it. Now, this is where roadmap comes in. Yes, he has already said you are going to write 30 pages. This is like, okay, let's take this off the classroom. Let's say, as a researcher, you want to write 30 pages research work, right? And you know that you have 5 months to get that 30 pages ready. So you already set that goal that you're going to achieve 30 pages research paper, which my professor have already given us that goal to make 30 pages. But he also went ahead to break it. Now, this breakdown, the steps is now where the roadmap comes in. That is where the feasible, creating that feasible roadmap. He said, every 2 weeks, okay, the first week we submitted, he said, come to class with topic. You don't need to figure this topic out. You don't need to get it all right. Just come with a topic. The first week, we all brought a topic to class. We discussed the topic. He gave us 2 weeks to come up with initial proposal, which he said we should put it up in 2 pages, right? So, good. We went home, 2 weeks, we got our proposal ready. He gave us another 3 weeks. He gave us 3 weeks. He said, in the next 3 weeks, I want to submit a four-page historiography. We did that. We wrote 4 pages historiography. Are you checking this? We brought the topic, we've written proposal, we've written historiography, which in most cases for people in social sciences, that's like doing a literature review. So we've done these first 3 steps. And then he gave us, he said, after the winter break, no, before the winter break, submit 10 pages rough drafts. Like, it can be any part of the paper. You mustn't have introduction at that point. It can be any part of that paper. It can be the your major arguments. It can be anything. But he wants you to see, because the goal of the paper is for us to be trained on how to work with primary sources. So in that 10 pages rough draft, you should start thinking about the primary source you want to use. Sorry. So We did that. That means we've already submitted, we've already done 10 steps. So all these things were already building up, like they're already piling. So when we got back from spring break, sorry, he gave us 2 weeks to submit a full draft. We did that. So by the time we submitted our full draft, you will see that from all the work we've been doing from January up until April, you already see yourself almost doing 20 pages, if not more than. And then after the rough drafts, we all met in class to now discuss, give reviews. And I said, okay, take it back, work on it, work on the feedback, and then submit the final paper. So you see, he broke it down. Instead of saying, go and write 30 pages research paper, which in most cases, that's what we do. We just say, oh, I'm going to, by the end of next year, I should be earning $1 million or 6 figures without creating the system that would eventually get us to that place. So, but this professor of mine, he didn't just say, you are going to be writing 30 pages. He gave us a roadmap. Submit topic, submit research proposal, submit historiography, submit 10 pages draft, submit the full draft, and then submit the full paper. So, guys, this is the end of the semester. And trust me, many of us, because we reviewed our cohort's work, nobody submitted less than 30 pages. We even want to write more because he broke it down in steps. And as we are writing it, we're enjoying it, we're getting the feedback, everything's just going smoothly. Yes, we did the work, but we didn't feel it the way it could have been if there wasn't a roadmap. So this applies to everything we do. These are ways to avoid procrastination. When you have this goal, when you set this goal for yourself, it's also important to a kind of, to create this roadmap. So like for me, I set a roadmap for myself. Like I already mentioned that in Real Talk with Such, I'm going to make 52 videos or 50 videos in a year. And then I created this roadmap. So, so this can be in anything, or even still as a writer. You can say, okay, every day between 7 a.m. Like me, I function very well between 7 a.m. To 11 a.m. every morning. So whatever I read at that point or whatever I write, I can sit down between 7 to 12 and write 20 pages or read like 50 pages of a book. So I already know that this particular time in my day is very important, except when I have classes, which I think it was just once in a week that I have early morning class like that. So it's also good to know what works for you and know how to break your goals, your work, you break them down so it doesn't overwhelm you. Because when it becomes overwhelming, you see yourself, you keep procrastinating. When that fear comes in, you keep procrastinating, you will not achieve this. So, but at the end of the day, when you fail to achieve that work, or when you have just 1 week left, that's when you will know what fear is all about. The fear would come, the anxiety would come. You won't even think right. You won't even be able to do anything. Like for me, I struggled with it that in some cases, food won't even be a problem again. Like I won't even want to eat. I'm always afraid. I'm always scared of, oh, what if I don't meet up the deadline? But the truth is that I had 3 months. I had 4 months. So time management is important. Another thing I also use, I use Google Calendar. Very important. I mean, this is not a video to teach how to use Google Calendar, but go to YouTube, watch other YouTube videos on how to use Google Calendar. Very important. Google Calendar, I set my time, the thing I'm doing that day. Like I know that on my Google Calendar, every morning between 5:30 to 6 o'clock is morning devotion. So once it's that time, my alarm alerts me. So from that, I wake up and then 7 a.m. I start reading or I start writing, because I'm a graduate student. We read, we write. So that's like the primary reason why we are here. So we have to do those things. So it's not like I have a perfect planned life. No, I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. So Google Calendar reminds me of what to do. And when you are setting your goals on Google Calendar, make it clear. Write what you are supposed to be doing, the time, right? The time for that particular task. When you are done with it, to move to the next one. It feels like I'm teaching now, but I think this procrastination of a thing is something that perhaps it actually needs to be taught. And I think sometime in the future, I should also get someone who is also higher in career to come and talk about this procrastination in Real Talk Research, because I know it's a very harmful, it's a disease, not just a disease, a harmful one. Is that even a disease that is not harmful? I don't know. So, yeah. So I remember also that one of the ways I also handle procrastination right now is first of all to tell myself that I can do it. There is no perfect work out there because I'm always living in this fear of judgments, criticism, constructive feedback, and then I keep postponing my work to figure it all out. So I keep telling myself that my opinion matters, my writing skill matters, the way I think matters. So however I put it out together, it will go through reviews and it will eventually come out. So why do I have to procrastinate because of fear? Right? I also like to watch film. I watch film almost every day. That's like my sanity. If I don't watch film in a day, like I don't know what will happen. So I watch film all the time, but I have the time that I use to watch that film. Sometimes days have come where I did not achieve anything, like I didn't do anything. But you know what happens? That 2 days that I missed, or that one day that I missed, the work will now push to the other days, and the fear will even be more. So right now I'm learning to kind of have the time for fun, have the time for my writing, have the time for family, have the time for everything. It's not easy, but I'm learning that. So we have to say no to procrastination. We need to get those work done, because when we don't do it, no one will do it. The world doesn't celebrate procrastination. The world doesn't celebrate failure. The world only celebrates success and accomplishment, right? And how do we do that? It's by getting our works done. It's by doing the right thing at the right time. So it's very important, we break our works, we break our goals in steps that we can achieve them. Little steps that when we remember them, it will not scare us. Our mind will not just jump off. Because when that happens, you know that there's a problem. You might have to revisit that your goal and know how to make it better for you to be able to accomplish it. So say no to procrastination. And thank you for joining me on Real Talk with Sochi today. Please share this video, comment. I want to hear your story, how you struggle with procrastination. Have you solved it? Please let's hear that in the comment section, and I will see you in the next one. Thank you. Bye.